Nerdcast assemble!
Stay dandy, baby.
Have you ever watched an anime movie which rocked your jolly so hard you just went from 6 to midnight? That's my experience with the brand new Trigger anime film, Promare. When I first rebranded my YouTube channel, one of the very first videos that I made was a Promare video, right before its official release in Japanese theaters. The title of that video was, Will Promare Be the Next Gurren Lagann? And I can honestly say, after watching the movie for the very first time, it just might be. It's at least on par with the classic action anime series, and I can honestly say that Promare might be one of the best pieces of animation and one of the best things produced by Studio Trigger. I can say without hyperbole that Promare was one of the best anime films that I have ever seen. After watching it, it gave me an animation stiffy which pierced the very heavens itself.
Boner!
Promare brings back the dream team of Hiroyuki Imaishi and writer Kazuki Nakashima. These two guys are famous for making some of the best anime of all time. When they were working with Gainax, they created the immensely epic Gurren Lagann, and when they formed Studio Trigger, they just kept creating hit after hit. Shows like Kill La Kill, Panty Stocking, and Garter Belt, not to mention newer creations like Darling in the Franxx, SSS Gridman, and of course, Brand New Animal. I'm pretty convinced that these guys have the magic touch because whatever they put their work into, it always turns into gold. Well, okay, Darling in the Franxx wasn't perfect, but you get my drift. But let's get back to that question that I posed in my very first video about Promare, will it be the next Gurren Lagann? And I think it's on par with it. Now, of course, Gurren Lagann has the advantage of being a long-running, single season of anime television. It has a lot more room for growth and characterization, yet in the span of 2 hours, they were able to churn out something which felt just as impactful and honestly might have some of the most unique animation techniques that I've seen in just about any show, period. The fact of the matter is, there's no getting around it. Promare is a gorgeous looking anime movie. Every single frame is just absolutely popping with extreme detail and an explosion of color. And it did one thing that I was most afraid of. It was going to use a lot of 3D CG animation, which a lot of the times does not look that good. Here, it's practically the identity of the entire film. Everything from the character design to the action scenes, even just the colors themselves, are a perfect marriage of hand-drawn and 3D animation. Great animation is one thing, but what about the story of Promare? If there's one detriment to the movie, it's at the fact that it moves very fast. In fact, this is one of the few times where I'd say, do a little research before you watch Promare. You might be a little overwhelmed by the story that it throws at you, because the film is incredibly fast-paced. In fact, I'm really glad that I did a lot of research before I watched the movie, as it just comes at you so fast that you find yourself just asking a lot of questions. What the hell is actually going on? And the movie does a pretty good job of actually explaining things, and while it overwhelms you with its extreme animation and style, it's a surprisingly easy story to follow. Promare takes place on a fictionalized version of Earth, which has suffered from a major cataclysmic event known as the Great World Blaze, where suddenly people erupted with anger and spontaneously began to combust with fiery power. A lot of these humans end up becoming pyrokinetic with the ability to actually control this fire, and they became known as a brand new race of beings known as the Burnish. Flash forward 30 years later, and we have a brand new group of firefighters known as the Burning Rescue Squad. They live in this massive city which is called Promeopolis, and it's their job to save the citizens from the Burnish, including a group of Burnish terrorists known as the Mad Burnish, led by a man named Leo Focia. The main character of the film is a hotshot firefighter who goes by the name of Gallo, and he ends up being the rival to Leo throughout the film as they continuously clash with one another, as well as another group which is known as the Freeze Force, who go around and capture all of these Burnish, locking them away and throwing away the key. Like a lot of other classic Studio Trigger anime series, the story starts out small at first. but then eventually it evolves into something much larger as the film actually goes on. And in classic Studio Trigger fashion, it does so in the most over-the-top way possible. I don't want to give away any of the major spoilers of the film. I will just say, however, that it deals with a lot of the themes that we've seen from previous Studio Trigger shows, and also delves into some pretty heavy themes, some of which are still very prevalent and even going on in the real world today. It deals with a group of marginalized people people who are ostracized by society and who are continuously looked at as not even human. It even manages to take inspiration from classic comic books like the X-Men, dealing with a group of people who have extraordinary powers who are looked at as dangerous by the rest of society. One more thing I want to mention, and I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible, is that at the end of the day, Promare is also a mecha anime. This is very clear by the very end of the film, and all I can say is, Gurren Lagann fans, you are going to love this. So pretty much Promare has everything that you would want from a Trigger anime movie. High-octane, highly stylized action which continues to melt your eyes with every single scene. A cast of colorful and super fun characters. I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention the amazing music score in this movie. It amplifies just about every single action scene. Promare is an anime series that's got legs. Years from now, it's going to have a lot of relevance, and its overall visual styles are going to continue to blow you away years after its initial release. It's definitely worth rewatching if only to notice all of these smaller details and just to overall appreciate all of the hard work which actually went into this film. There are some action scenes in this movie which left my jaw on the freaking floor, and I'd be hard-pressed to see even a high-budget Hollywood movie even top some of the crazy action scenes which are in this film. But even with that, Promare is still not perfect. Of course, the thing that hurts it the most is the fact that it is a movie, which means only a few characters in the film get any sort of development whatsoever. Gallo is a really fun main character, but there's really not much to him outside of the fact that he's just a really loud, boisterous, and fun, brave guy. He's very similar to Kamina from Gurren Lagann. It's Leo who ends up getting the most development in the film, and he might as well have been the main character, as I found his story the most interesting. Aside from the other characters, aside from maybe one or two, they really don't get a lot of time to shine, which is a shame because they all look really fun, they all have distinctive personalities, and I honestly think Promare is something that could actually turn into a full-blown anime season. There's a lot of room for improvement and development on the film, and as far as the main villain of the movie goes, if you don't know who it is within the first 10 minutes, well, you're just stupid. I would also like to give Studio Trigger some credit. They got away from one annoying anime trope, which has been pretty prevalent in just about every single series that they have made, and that is by showing us very little fan service in Promare. Now, don't get me wrong, I like seeing a cute, attractive anime girl as much as the next guy in my anime series. Some of them can even make bad anime a lot better.
God damn!
But this is a movie which focuses entirely on its style, its characters, and its message. And in that sense, it absolutely succeeds in every way possible. I can go as far as to say that Promare might be one of the best anime things that I have seen in like a decade. Probably the best anime movie that I've ever seen. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. And this is coming from a guy who loves a lot of classics like Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and even other classic Studio Gainax films like Dead Leaves, or even the action racing movie Redline. I love me some good, crazy, experimental anime movies, but Promare takes everything great about Studio Trigger, throws it into a blender, throws in a stick of dynamite, and it just explodes in your face. Guys, Trigger has done it yet again. They've created a classic. It's Promare, and you'd be hard-pressed not to check out this super hot anime movie. So you heard my thoughts on the brand new Studio Trigger movie Promare, but I want to hear from you guys. Make sure to sound off in the comments section below. Did you guys have an opportunity to see this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you absolutely love it? Let's discuss all aspects of Promare in the comments section below. With that, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And of course, if you are already subscribed, make sure to hit that bell notification icon. It'll let you know when all of my videos are released. If you guys would like to help support the channel in another way, please check out my Patreon in the description box. If any of you make a small donation, I will review an anime series of your choice. So that's it for today, guys. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby. Awesome, you guys stuck around after the credits. Okay, here's some spoilers. Last 30 minutes of this movie are balls to the wall amazing. Some of the best mecha action that I have ever seen, and it's just a perfect callback to Gurren Lagann, Gallo and Leo teaming up to fight against the main villain and a massive robot which might as well be the next generation Gurren Lagann. And you know what? I think it made me cream my pants.